I was 26 years old when Aaron Mitchell walked into my life, and 27 when he walked out of it, leaving behind his 6-year-old daughter and a choice I never thought I'd have to make. This is the story of how I became a mother, not by birth, but by refusing to leave when everyone else did. It's about a little girl named Marie who lost everyone and learned to trust again. About dance being our first language when words failed. About building a family from broken pieces. And about discovering that sometimes the most profound love stories aren't romantic at all. They're about staying when staying is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Before we dive in, have you ever had to make a choice that changed your entire life in an instant? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you love stories about chosen families, unconditional love, and the quiet heroism of everyday commitment, please subscribe so you don't miss our next one. Now let me tell you about Marie, and how a little girl taught me what it really means to love. When I was 26, I was barely keeping my own life together, let alone ready to become responsible for someone else's. I taught ballet at a small studio, beginner classes, mostly kids between 4 and 8 years old. The pay was decent, but not enough to live on, so I also worked mornings as a barista at a coffee shop near the studio. Between the two jobs, I made just enough to cover rent on my tiny one-bedroom apartment and the occasional night out with friends. I hadn't gone to college. After high school, I'd moved to Charlotte to train seriously in ballet, spent 3 years dancing with a small company, and then injured my ankle badly enough that professional dance was no longer realistic. So I'd pivoted to teaching. It wasn't the life I'd imagined at 18, but it was mine, and I was mostly okay with it. I met Aaron on a Tuesday afternoon in September. His daughter Marie was starting her first ballet class, and he'd brought her 15 minutes early. She was 5 years old, tiny, with dark curly hair pulled into a messy bun, and enormous brown eyes that watched everything with serious attention. "Is this your first dance class?" I asked, crouching down to her level. Marie nodded, not quite looking at me. "Are you nervous?" Another nod. "That's okay. Everyone gets nervous trying something new. But I promise we're going to have fun. Do you like music?" "Yes," Marie said quietly. "Good, because ballet is just moving to music, like playing, but fancier." I smiled. "What's your name?" "Marie." "That's a beautiful name. I'm Miss Natalie. I'm going to be your teacher." Marie looked up at me then, and something in her expression, hope mixed with uncertainty, made my chest tighten. Her father stepped forward. "I'm Aaron, her dad. She's been asking to try ballet for months, so I finally found a class that fit our schedule." "Well, Marie, you're going to love it," I said. "Why don't you and your dad wait here, and when the other students arrive, we'll start." Aaron was attractive. I noticed that immediately, though I tried not to. Tall, dark hair starting to gray at the temples, the kind of face that looked like it smiled easily, even though he wasn't smiling now. There was something sad in his eyes, something tired. During the class, Marie was hesitant at first, but gradually opened up. She had natural grace, good balance, and she listened carefully to every instruction. By the end of the 45 minutes, she was smiling. "Did you have fun?" I asked as the kids gathered their things. "Yes. Can I come back next week?" "Absolutely. I'll see you next Tuesday, Marie." Aaron approached as Marie put on her jacket. "Thank you. She hasn't been this excited about something in a long time." "She's a natural. She's going to do great." "Good to know." Over the next few weeks, Aaron and Marie made a habit of arriving 15 minutes early. I always spent that time talking to them while the other kids arrived, until one day after a particularly tiring class, Aaron looked at me differently. He hesitated. "This might be forward, but would you like to get coffee sometime? Not as Marie's teacher, just as, adults who might enjoy talking to each other?" I should have said no. There were probably rules about dating the parents of students. But I was 26. Every date I went failed miserably. He was handsome, and I made a lot of other excuses to convince myself there was no harm in accepting it, so I said yes. We went for coffee 3 days later. I learned that Aaron was an architect, that he'd moved to Charlotte for work 4 years ago, and that his wife Joanne had died giving birth to Marie. "She never got to meet her," he said quietly, stirring sugar into his coffee without drinking it. "Complications during delivery. They saved Marie but couldn't save Joanne. So I've been doing this alone since the beginning, just me and Marie. And honestly, some days I have no idea what I'm doing. You seem like you're doing fine. Marie's a great kid. She is. But she's also 5 now, and she's starting to ask questions about her mom, about why she doesn't have one when all her friends do. And I don't know how to answer that in a way that doesn't break her heart. You tell her the truth, that her mom loved her very much, that sometimes the people we love most leave us too soon, and it's not fair, but it doesn't mean they didn't love us. Aaron looked at me with something like gratitude. That's good. That's really good. We started dating slowly. Coffee turned into dinners. Dinners turned into weekend plans. And gradually, I was spending time not just with Aaron, but with Marie too. Marie was shy with me at first, testing to see if I was safe. But she warmed up quickly. We'd have little dance sessions in Aaron's living room, just the two of us, where I'd teach her moves and she'd make up her own. She started calling me Nat instead of Miss Natalie. 6 months in, I was spending most weekends at Aaron's house. Marie would curl up between us during movies, or ask me to read her bedtime stories, or show me drawings she'd made. She really loves you, Aaron said one night after Marie had gone to bed. She talks about you constantly. I love her too. She's special. You're good with her. Natural. Like you've always known how to be around kids. I teach kids all day. You pick up a few things. But it was more than that with Marie. She'd gotten under my skin in a way I hadn't expected. I found myself thinking about her during the day, wondering if she'd had a good day at school, planning little surprises for her. It scared me a little, how much I cared. A year into our relationship, I had a drawer at Aaron's house, a toothbrush. Marie had started asking when I was moving in. Aaron and I talked about it, tentatively, carefully, because it was a big step. I want you here, he said. We both do. But I need to know you're in this for real. Because if you leave, it won't just hurt me. It'll devastate Marie. She's already lost one mother. I can't let her lose another. I'm not going anywhere. Promise? I promise. But 2 months later, everything fell apart. It started small. Aaron becoming more distant. Coming home late from work. Forgetting things. Marie's school events. Groceries he'd promised to pick up. Conversations we'd had. Are you okay? I asked one night after Marie had gone to bed. You seem off lately. I'm fine. Just work stress. Aaron, I know you. This is more than work stress. I said I'm fine, Natalie. Can we drop it? He got worse. Some days he was normal, loving, engaged, present. Other days he was hollow, going through the motions, barely there. I started worrying, started suggesting he see someone, talk to a therapist. I don't need therapy. I just need everyone to stop hovering. Marie noticed too. Is Daddy mad at me? She asked one afternoon while I was helping her with homework. No, sweetheart. He's not mad at you. Then why doesn't he smile anymore? I didn't have an answer. The night it happened was a Friday in November. Marie was at a sleepover at her friend's house, one of the rare nights she wasn't home. I thought maybe Aaron and I could have a real conversation, figure out what was going on. Instead, he came home at 9 p.m. with wild eyes and an energy that scared me. Pack a bag, he said. What? Pack a bag. We're leaving. Tonight. Aaron, what are you talking about? We're leaving Charlotte. Leaving everything. We'll drive somewhere. California maybe, or Mexico. Somewhere we can start over. Just you and me. What about Marie? She's already at the Johnsons' place. She'll stay there. They're good people. They'll take care of her for a few days until we figure things out. My blood went cold. You want to leave your daughter? Just for a little while. Until I can think clearly. Until I can... He ran his hands through his hair. I can't do this anymore, Natalie. I can't be her father. Every time I look at her, I see Joanne dying. I see everything I lost. And I can't carry that anymore. Aaron, you're not thinking straight. You're having some kind of breakdown. We need to get you help. I don't need help. I need to leave, and I want you to come with me. We can have a life, Natalie. Just us. No responsibilities. No reminders of everything I've lost. We can be free. Free? Aaron, she's your daughter. She's a reminder of the worst day of my life. Every single day looking at her, knowing she's alive because Joanne's dead. Stop. Just stop. You know that's not what happened. Is not the cause of Joanne's death. It was a fatality, maybe a medical negligence. You can't blame her. I was shaking. You need help. Professional help. I'll drive you to the hospital right now. We'll figure this out. I don't want to figure it out. I want to leave. Are you coming with me or not? I looked at this man I'd loved, this man who'd seemed so solid and good, and I saw someone I didn't recognize, someone who was drowning and trying to pull everyone else under with him. No, I'm not leaving Marie, and you shouldn't either. Then you're choosing her over me. I'm choosing not to abandon a 6-year-old child. Aaron, please, let me help you. We'll call your doctor, He turned and walked toward the door. Aaron, wait. If you're not coming, I'm going alone. What about Marie? She'll be home tomorrow morning. You're here. You'll take care of her. He grabbed his keys. Tell her I'm sorry. Aaron, don't do this. Please don't do this. But he was already gone. I heard his car start, heard him drive away, and I stood in the middle of his living room feeling like the floor had disappeared beneath me. I called his phone 17 times that night. It went straight to voicemail. I called hospitals, police non-emergency lines, everyone I could think of. No one had seen him. No one knew where he was. At 8 a.m., Marie's friend's mom dropped her off. She came running inside, backpack bouncing, smile bright. Nat, we made brownies and stayed up until 10 o'clock and... She stopped, looking around. Where's Daddy? I knelt down to her level, my heart breaking. Sweetie, your dad had to go away for a little while. For work. But I'm here, okay? I'm going to stay with you until he gets back. When is he coming back? I don't know yet, but you don't need to worry. I promise you're safe. She looked at me with those enormous brown eyes, and I saw the fear starting to creep in. Okay, she said in a small voice. Can we have pancakes? Yeah, we can have pancakes. The first 2 weeks were survival mode. I called Aaron's office, told them he was having a family emergency and would be out indefinitely. I called his mother, who lived in a nursing home in Florida and was too elderly to travel, and told her Aaron needed time away to deal with some things. I didn't tell anyone he'd abandoned his daughter. I didn't call child services, because if I did, Marie would go into the system, and I couldn't let that happen. So I stayed. I moved my things into Aaron's house. I called in to work, reduced my teaching schedule, picked up extra barista shifts when Marie was at school or extra activities. My savings started draining fast. Marie asked about her father every day. Is Daddy coming home tonight? Not tonight, sweetheart. Tomorrow? I don't know. But I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. She accepted this at first, but after 2 weeks, the questions turned to anger. You're lying! She screamed one night when I told her I still didn't know when Aaron was coming back. You're lying! You did something to him! Marie, I promise I didn't. I hate you! I want my daddy! Where is he? Where is he? She threw her cup across the kitchen. It shattered against the wall. She was crying so hard she could barely breathe. I wanted to grab her, hold her, make it better. But she wouldn't let me near her. Marie, please. Go away! You're not my mommy! She ran to her room and slammed the door. I heard things hitting the walls, toys, books, whatever she could throw. I heard her sobbing. I sat on the kitchen floor surrounded by broken ceramic and cried too. The next few weeks were brutal. Marie refused to eat meals with me, refused to let me help with homework, refused to go to ballet class. She was angry all the time, at me, at her father, at the world. I don't have to listen to you, she told me one morning when I asked her to brush her teeth. You're not my mom. You're just Daddy's girlfriend, and he left, so you don't get to tell me what to do. You're right. I'm not your mom, but I'm an adult, and you're a kid, and you still need to brush your teeth. No. Marie, I hate you. I wish you left instead of my daddy. The words hit like a punch, but I kept my voice steady. I know you're angry. I know you miss him. But I'm here, and I'm going to keep being here because I love you. You don't love me. Nobody loves me. My mommy died and my daddy left and nobody wants me. She collapsed on the floor sobbing. This time, when I reached for her, she didn't push me away. She let me pull her into my lap, and she cried into my shoulder while I rocked her and whispered that she was wanted, she was loved, she wasn't alone. After that, things got a tiny bit easier. Not easy, but easier. I established routines. Breakfast at 7, school drop-off at 8. I'd work my morning shift at the coffee shop, pick her up at 3, help with homework, make dinner, bath time, story time, bed by 8:30. Some days she cooperated, some days she fought me on everything. But slowly, so slowly, I almost didn't notice, she started to soften. One night, about 6 weeks after Aaron left, Marie came out of her room after bedtime. Nat? What's wrong, sweetie? I had a bad dream. Come here. She climbed into bed next to me. I wrapped my arms around her. Want to talk about it? I dreamed Daddy came back, but he didn't remember me. He looked at me like he didn't know who I was. That must have been really scary. Do you think he forgot about me? I chose my words carefully. I don't think your daddy could ever forget you, but I think he's sick right now, in his brain. Like when your body gets sick and you need medicine, sometimes people's brains get sick too. And when that happens, they don't think clearly. They don't make good choices. Is that why he left? I think so. Will he get better? I hope so. But Marie, even if he doesn't come back for a long time, you're going to be okay. Because I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. I promise. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, can I sleep here tonight? Of course. She curled up against me, and within minutes, she was asleep. I stayed awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, wondering what I was doing, wondering if I was enough, wondering if love was enough when a child had lost everyone. But when Marie shifted in her sleep and her small hand found mine, I knew I couldn't leave. Whatever came next, we'd face it together. 3 months after Aaron disappeared, I got a letter from Child Protective Services. Someone had reported that Marie was living with someone who wasn't her legal guardian, that her father was missing, and I had no legal right to her custody. I called a lawyer the same day. Her name was Laura Young, and she listened to my story with a grave expression. This is complicated, she said. You're not a relative. You're not legally married to the father. You have no adoption papers, no custody agreement. From a legal standpoint, you're just someone who's been living in this man's house taking care of his child without authorization. So what happens to Marie? If CPS pushes this, she'll go into foster care until they locate the father or find a relative willing to take her. No, that can't happen. She's already been through too much. Then we need to file for emergency custody. It's a long shot, but if we can prove you've been her primary caregiver, that she's bonded with you, that removing her would cause harm, we might have a case. What do I need to do? Everything. Character witnesses, documentation of care, proof that you're stable, capable, committed. And Natalie, Laura looked at me seriously. Are you sure about this? Because if you get custody, you're committing to raising this child. Not for a few months, for the next 12 years minimum. That's a massive responsibility for someone who wasn't planning on being a parent. I thought about Marie, about her small hand in mine, about the way she'd started smiling again, just a little, about how she'd started calling me when she got scared instead of trying to handle everything alone. I'm sure. Then let's fight for her. The investigation took 3 weeks. CPS sent a social worker to interview Marie, to inspect the house, to review my finances. The social worker, a kind woman named Teresa, sat down with Marie while I waited in the other room. When they were done, Teresa called me in. Marie says you've been taking care of her since her father left. That you make her breakfast, help with homework, read her stories at night. Yes. She also says she was really mad at you at first, that she said some mean things. I glanced at Marie, who was looking at her shoes. She was grieving. She had every right to be angry. Marie, do you still feel angry at Miss Natalie? Marie shook her head. Not anymore. She stayed even when I was mean. My throat tightened. Marie, you can be my mommy? Marie looked up at me with hope and fear mixed together. Even if Daddy doesn't come back and marry you? I want to, sweetheart. I'll stay anyway. Teresa made notes. We still need to locate the father. Do you have any idea where he might be? No, he left in November. I haven't heard from him since. We'll run a search. In the meantime, I'm recommending temporary emergency custody be granted to you while we investigate further. Relief flooded through me. Thank you. 2 weeks later, Laura called with news. We found him. Aaron Mitchell is currently admitted to a psychiatric facility in Austin, Texas. He's been there since December. Severe depression, dissociative episodes. He signed voluntary commitment papers. My hand tightened on the phone. Is he okay? He's stable, medicated. But Natalie, he also signed papers terminating his parental rights. He said he's not capable of being a father, that Marie would be better off without him. I sat down heavily. He gave her up. Legally, yes, which actually makes your custody case much stronger. Without a biological parent in the picture, and with no relatives stepping forward, the court is likely to grant you full custody if you want to pursue it. I do. Absolutely I do. Then we'll file the paperwork. The custody hearing was in April. The judge was a woman in her 60s who'd probably seen every kind of family situation imaginable. She reviewed the case file, interviewed Marie privately, asked me questions about my finances, my plans, my commitment. Miss Ross, you're 28 years old. You work 2 jobs to make ends meet. You have no college degree, no family support system in this area, and no experience raising a child. Why should I believe you're the right person to have custody of this little girl? I took a breath. Because I'm the person who cared for her since her father left. When she was angry and grieving and lashing out, I stayed. When it was hard, when I didn't know what I was doing, when I was exhausted and broke and terrified I was failing her, I stayed. And I'll keep staying, because she's not just Aaron's daughter anymore. She's mine. In every way that matters, she's mine. And I love her enough to show up every single day, even on the days when I don't know if I'm doing it right. The judge was quiet for a long moment. Then she looked at Marie. Marie, do you want to live with Miss Natalie? Marie nodded firmly. She's my mom now. She takes care of me, and she never left, even when I was bad. You weren't bad, sweetheart. You were scared. But you stayed anyway. You are my mom. The judge made her decision. Miss Ross, I'm granting you full legal custody of Marie Mitchell. Congratulations. You're officially a mother. That night, Marie asked if she could call me Mom instead of Nat. Are you sure? I asked. You don't have to. I want to. You're my mom, the one who stayed. Then yes, you can call me Mom. She hugged me tight. I love you, Mom. I love you too, Marie. So much. That year was hard in ways I couldn't have predicted. Money was tight. Daycare, groceries, the cost of just existing. I worked constantly, trying to keep us afloat. But we had moments of joy too. Ballet became our language again. When Marie was sad or angry or confused, we'd dance. No words, just movement. It helped both of us process everything we'd been through. And slowly, we built a life. Just the 2 of us. When Marie was 8, she called me Mom without hesitation. When she was 10, she stopped asking about Aaron. When she was 12, she had her first real teenage tantrum. You can't tell me what to do. And I realized she trusted me enough to test boundaries again. At 14, we had a late-night conversation about her father. Do you think he ever thinks about me? She asked. I think he thinks about you every day. And I think he wishes he could have been stronger. But Marie, his leaving wasn't about you. It was never about you. It was about him not being able to handle his own pain. Do you ever think about him? Sometimes. I'm sad for what he lost. But I can't regret what happened, because it brought us together. And you're the best thing in my life. You're the best thing in mine too, Mom. At 16, we opened my dance studio together. Small, just 3 rooms, but it was ours. Marie helped teach the little kids on weekends. It was at a regional ballet competition in Raleigh, where I saw Erin for the first time in 9 years. Marie had been training for months, a contemporary solo she'd choreographed herself. I was backstage with her, helping with her costume, when I saw him through a gap in the curtain. He was standing at the very back of the auditorium, partially hidden behind a column. But I'd recognize that posture anywhere, the slight hunch of his shoulders, the way he stood with his hands in his pockets. My heart stopped. "Mom, can you fix this strap?" Marie asked, pulling me back to the moment. "Yeah, sorry." I adjusted the strap with shaking hands. "You're going to be amazing out there. Remember to breathe." I know. You've told me 1,000,000 times. Because it's important." She rolled her eyes but smiled. "I love you." "I love you too. Now go show them what you've got." I watched her walk toward the stage entrance. Then I slipped out into the auditorium. I moved along the side wall until I reached the back where Erin was standing. He saw me coming. For a second, I thought he might run, but he stayed. "Natalie," he said quietly when I reached him. Up close, he looked older, gray hair, deeper lines around his eyes, but also healthier than the last time I'd seen him. That night he'd left with wild eyes and desperate energy. "What are you doing here?" I kept my voice low so he wouldn't disturb the performance happening on stage. "I'm watching Marie dance." "How long have you been doing this?" He looked down. "A while, since she was about 12. I found out she was competing, so I started coming. Always where she won't see me." "Erin, I know I have no right to be here. If you want me to leave, I will. But please, just let me watch. I won't approach her. I won't interfere. I need to see her, to know she's okay." The house lights dimmed. Marie's name was announced. I should have told him to leave, should have been angry, but I couldn't. Not when I saw the look on his face as Marie walked onto the stage. We stood in silence as Marie danced. She was beautiful, graceful, powerful, telling a story with her body about loss and healing and becoming whole. I'd helped her with some of the choreography, but most of it was hers, pure Marie. When she finished, the audience erupted in applause. Erin's hands were clenched at his sides, and I saw tears on his face. "She's incredible," he whispered. "She is. You did that. You gave her this. Ballet was always hers. I just helped her find it again." Marie left the stage. The next competitor was announced. Erin and I stayed at the back of the auditorium. "How long are you going to keep doing this?" I asked. "Watching from the shadows?" "I don't know." "Do you want to see her? Talk to her? Be in her life?" He was quiet for a long moment. "Every day, every single day, I want that. But Natalie, I can't. I'm not strong enough. You seem better than you were." "I am better. I take medication. I see a therapist twice a week. I live in a supervised facility. I'm functional, but that's all I am. Functional, not whole, not capable of being what a father should be." "So you just watch her compete and then disappear?" "What else am I supposed to do? Walk back into her life after 9 years? Tell her, 'Sorry I abandoned you when you were 6, but I'm ready to try again now.' She has you. She has a life. She doesn't need me showing up and disrupting everything." "That's not your decision to make. She's 16. She's old enough to decide for herself whether she wants you in her life. And if she says no, if she hates me, then you deal with that. But Erin, this—" I gestured to where he was standing, hidden in the shadows. "This is cowardice. If you love her, really love her, you give her the choice. You don't make it for her." "I'm not brave like you." "I'm not brave. I was terrified every single day for the first year. I had no idea what I was doing. That's all bravery is, showing up even when you're scared. What if I show up and I fail her again?" "Then you fail. But at least you tried. At least you gave her the chance to know her father, to have answers, to decide for herself what kind of relationship she wants." Erin looked toward the stage where another dancer was performing. "Does she ask about me?" "Sometimes. Less now than she used to." When she was younger, she asked all the time, where I thought you were, if you were okay, if you'd ever come back. I told her the truth, that you were sick and couldn't take care of her, but that it wasn't her fault. It was never her fault. I know that. You know that. But she spent years wondering if there was something wrong with her, if she'd done something to make you leave. Pain crossed his face. God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't apologize to me. Apologize to her. I don't know if I can. I left him there and went to sit in the audience. The competition ended. Marie came out, found me, threw her arms around me. Did you see? I didn't fall. You were perfect. I'm so proud of you. Can we have fries on the way home? I'm starving. Absolutely. I glanced back to where Aaron had been standing. He was gone. That night, after Marie was asleep, I sat in the living room thinking about Aaron, about the fact that he'd been watching her for 4 years, that he came to every performance but never approached, that he loved her from a distance but couldn't bring himself to close the gap. Part of me was angry that he got to see her grow up without having to do any of the hard work, without the tantrums and the homework battles and the teenage attitude. He got to see her at her best, on stage, graceful, accomplished, and then disappear. But part of me was sad for him too, because he was missing everything. The small moments that made up a life, the morning conversations over breakfast, the late-night talks about boys and friends and fears, the way Marie still sometimes crawled into bed with me after a nightmare, the inside jokes, the casual I love yous. He'd given all of that up, and he'd never get it back. And at 18, when Marie graduated high school and got accepted to college with a scholarship for dance and cheer, she gave a speech at graduation about chosen family. My mom didn't give birth to me, she said. She didn't have to stay when things got hard, but she did. She chose me every single day. And that choice, that commitment, taught me what love really is. It's not just a feeling, it's showing up, it's staying. It's choosing someone again and again, even when it's difficult, especially when it's difficult. I sat in the audience crying, watching this young woman I'd raised, and felt overwhelming gratitude, not for how things had happened, but for what we'd built together from the broken pieces. After the ceremony, Marie found me. Thank you for everything, for staying, for loving me, for being my mom. Thank you for letting me be your mom, for trusting me, for giving me a chance. Want to dance like we used to? Always. We went to the studio that night, put on music, and danced together the way we'd done for 12 years, mother and daughter, connected by choice and love. Some families are built by blood, others are built by the conscious decision to stay, to love, to show up day after day, even when it's hard. Marie and I built ours the second way, and I wouldn't change a single thing. What did you think of Natalie's decision to raise the daughter of her boyfriend who abandoned her? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story about chosen families, unconditional love, and the quiet heroism of commitment touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more meaningful stories every day. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss our next inspiring tale. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.